Welcome to another episode of 90 Minutes of Wisdom, a channel dedicated to helping you expand your knowledge and develop a more successful and peaceful mind. My guest today is a global speaker, #1 international best-selling author, certified grief transformation and life success coach, and veterinarian oncologist. Her specialty is in helping people thrive through tough times and win with more ease and fun. She is an expert in assisting people effortlessly transform their failures and tragedies into triumphs and thriving, joyful living. Welcome to the show, the inspirational Dr. Birgitte Tan. Welcome, Birgitte.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Andrew. Thank you. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be able to be here with you today.
Yeah, thank you. Amazing. I love that you have, if you believe in yourself, anything is possible. I love that. That's great. Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about your story, which is very interesting, and how you were a veterinarian oncologist. Mm-hmm. And so that was kind of before, but you've kind of transitioned, right, from that. Yeah. So do you want to talk a little bit about that transition and which led you to what you're doing now?
Sure, absolutely. I'm happy to. So yes, my background, my education is in veterinarian oncologist. I'm a board certified veterinary medical oncologist actually, and life's happened in 2011. It started with seemingly to me at the time out of the blue divorce after 15 years of marriage, and actually that only opened a Pandora box of 8 to 9 other grievous events, all happened in 2 years. And at the end of that 2 years, I was in so much pain, I wish I could die. But I didn't die. And after a little time, I said, well, if I have to stay alive, then I'm going to thrive, not just survive. And I'm going to somehow, some way do it with ease and fun. I'm going to thrive somehow with ease and fun. Don't know how, but it's going to happen. And that's when I started my own journey into grief recovery and personal development. And fast forward just a few years, just a couple years later, and I have gone from broke, heartbroken, sick all the time, miserable all the time, to living a wonderful life of ease, joy, peace of mind, and abundance, more abundance than before, and better health than the first 40 years of my life. And so that's when I realized I have learned and mastered the tools and skill of transforming multiple different adversities, all of them into wonderful, thriving life. And fast forward to last year, actually. And so that's when I said, well, this probably can help. You mentioned dance away sadness when you're doing research. It's part of the journey. I actually, I used to love to dance when I was a kid. And then when I was 11, I came home having difficulties following dance step at school. And I shared on the dinner table, I have tough times following dance step. And somebody, an elder in the family, looked at me and said, well, you are a stiff, clumsy, ugly duckling with big, ugly legs. You should never even think about dancing. I said, what? And for an 11 years old kid, that actually stopped me. For an 11 years old, early adolescent girl, can you imagine? I was like, what? And that stopped me from dancing, stopped me from wearing skirt or dresses too. And when I went through this 2 years of interesting moments, to say the least, something in me just told me to start dancing again, just like start moving. And so that was a lot of dancing on my own to Enya in my bedroom late at night with a lot of crying. But each time it's actually allowed me to release a little bit more the part of grief that writing and talking with the counselor and everything could not help. And so when I recovered from all the trauma that I have, not only I realized I learned the skill of and tools of transforming the tragedy, but also I noticed how much it helps. And so that's why when I decided to extend my help beyond the wall of my hospitals and become a grief coach and a life transformation coach, and also create and founded Dance Away Sadness, Move Beyond Your Grief, to be able to help people, to help all of us touch and release the part of grief that words cannot touch. And then fast forward to last year, to 2019, life was beautiful because I recovered. And then out of the blue, in a matter of 2 weeks, my right hand, my dominant hand, became paralyzed. And so, and I live in Los Angeles. I have plenty of specialists in here, and nobody could figure out why. And so, in a matter of 2 weeks, I looked at becoming a complete handicap, losing my career that I built over 25 years, losing my ability to take care of my parents as the only child if I lost my career and my income. And then, and on top of that, my mom also got suddenly very ill, and with nobody knowing why, and we thought we were going to lose her. And my relationship with my long-term, my 7 years companion, who had been my number one supporter through my journey, dissolved just like that. Everything happened in a matter of just weeks. And so the interesting part was I realized after just a short time, I did not go through any of the anguish, despair, anxiety, and trauma that I did back in 2011, 2012. And that's when I realized that not only I have learned the tools and skills of transforming our tragedies, but I also have learned along the way somehow the myriads of tools and skills on being able to continue to have peace of mind and thrive even as we are facing adversities. And that's actually what brought me to today, where a lot of my work, like you mentioned just now, is to help people to thrive through adversities. That's what brought me to write my book, Seeking Peace, because at the end of the day, life is life. We never know. Things happen in life unexpectedly. Who expected COVID to happen in anybody's life, right? And there it is. So that's what brought me to from veterinary to being a grief transformation speaker, author, and coach.
Yeah, wow, that's an amazing journey. So I mean, I think that it takes tremendous strength that you had these horrible downturn, like everything's good, and then this horrible downturn, but to come out of that and so much stronger, like you said, like so the last time you went through it, it's with as you said, with a whole new set of tools and with an inner strength. I think that's fantastic. So both books, just to say, so it's Dance Away Sadness, Move Beyond Your Grief. That's one book, and Seeking Peace.
The Dance Away Sadness actually is not a book. It is an actual dance program.
Oh, that's the program. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
That's not. So Seeking Peace is the book.
Yeah.
Okay, so Seeking Peace, and Seeking Peace you can buy off of your website or off Amazon. Where can people purchase that book?
Both. You can get it from Amazon in any country that there is an Amazon, including in Canada and the US and anywhere. So Amazon.com, it's the full title is Seeking Peace, the proven 5 fingers method to thrive through change effortlessly. And then you can also get it from my website. Actually, it has its own website, seekingpeacebook.com. That's that. And if some people like an autographed copy, and that if you do that, then you directly connect with me, but support at birgittetan.com, and then you just write down, you want autographed copy, and it's still complimentary shipping for you.
Okay, wow, that's super nice. Wow, very cool. So then explain Dance Away Sadness, Move Beyond Your Grief. So that's like a program, that's a process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, you can explain that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to. So yeah, Dance Away Sadness, Move Beyond Your Grief. It's a dance program. It's freestyle dancing. It's basically a combination of freestyle dancing and coaching, gentle coaching through the time, and of course with music, the freestyle dancing with music. And so it's range in what you need and the space and so on and so forth. It range anywhere from typically half an hour to an hour. Different kind of music. Basically, it started with quiet, and then the music goes up and down and up and down. And yeah, I do it one-on-one nowadays online, and as well as in person for previous before COVID. So and then also I do it in group. Done it a lot. Actually, in cancer centers, it seems to help very much. And you do not have to be a dancer to be able to benefit from that at all. I was a stiff, clumsy, ugly duckling, and so I can benefit from that. And I still cannot follow dance step even now. If you ask me to do, I don't know, waltz or something, even salsa, I'm like completely discombobulated. I'm down, and so but dance away sadness. It's freestyle dancing, and so for some people it's a matter, some people really dance and jump all over the room, and which is wonderful. And some people, a lot of people at cancer center, if you can imagine, there are a lot of them are very tired, and all they do is they just sit on the side and tap their feet and tap their hand or not their head or something. I even have people that just lie down through the whole thing and just kind of like tap their feet and hand, and it's still very helpful actually. So regardless of your physical state, it can help us. And I think it's because you're very knowledgeable, Andrew. So you might have heard about this before from Dr. Joe Dispenza. On his TED Talk, he shares that when we hear something, or when we read something, it gets into our mind. But when we have an experience, particularly an impactful experience, it got into our cellular level. And so grief, anything that causes grief, that causes trauma, is an impactful experience. And it got to us to our cellular level. And we know nowadays that music, as well as movement, actually vibrates at different vibrations than words, right? And so I think that's why dancing, dance away sadness works so well with grief, is because the vibration of music and the movement, even if it's just a little bit, and then the coaching, it's kind of allow your cells to vibrate at the different normal vibrations, and then it's allowed the cells to kind of release whatever stuck in the cells. It's actually very helpful for current grief, but to my surprise, it's also helped with grief that's been like for sitting in somebody for like 30-40 years, something that traumatized you when you were a kid and things like that. So that's dance away sadness.
Yeah, well, this is amazing. Thank you for that explanation. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Dr. Joe Dispenza. I think